In this lesson, we're going to look at different ways to troubleshoot your video, projector, and display. So let's go ahead and get started. When working with video and displays, there are generally a few components that could be behind the problem. They're straightforward on how to troubleshoot these. So when you're having an image display issue, there's several of the components that you should look for. So we're going to cover these in the following lessons. If you're experiencing no video, you're expecting the image to be on your monitor and the image is not produced, the first thing you may want to check is the video cable source. This is the age old question: is it plugged in? That's one of the first things that you want to check for. Also, if the monitor has no lights, check for power. A lot of times, your power cord could be loose and it's not getting power to the monitor. Now, if the monitor does have power and it is connected to your laptop or to your desktop computer, check the input source. Generally, if it was an import source issue or the wrong source, you would see an indicator in your monitor screen displaying a flashing sequence of different sources as it's automatically trying to look for the source. It could be VGA, DVI, HDMI. If you see these, know that it cannot find the source. If the monitor is not automatically finding the source, check the video cable. Also, check to make sure that the output cable is the right device type. On most laptops, you need to press the function key and another key known as the LCD cutoff switch, such as an F4, F8 key sequence to direct the video output to an external monitor. This is called toggling the display. And there's different modes you can choose. You can choose whether it's extended, whether it's going to mirror what's on your screen. So check that as well, because it could just be on the wrong source. Now, if you do have an image, but that image is dim, check the brightness controls. Sometimes those brightness controls may have gotten tampered with or changed, and it could be causing your dim image. If there's still no image, it could possibly be a monitor issue. A great way to troubleshoot that is get another monitor that you know is working and swap the monitors. So this is a good way of testing to see if your monitor is not working. Image issues. Sometimes when you have an image on a screen, but the quality is not good, it could be a fuzzy image or blurry. Resolving a fuzzy image problem will depend on the type of display device that you're using. In projectors, there is a focus setting that can be adjusted to enhance images on the screens at different distances. Now, a lot of projectors will try to autofocus, but it'll also have on-screen menu options or a knob around the outside of the lens to manually adjust the focus. Now, a fuzzy image on an LCD screen can be caused by an external interference, such as fluorescent lights and devices such as fans, lamps, and speakers. Check for any of those nearby. If the display uses a cable, it could also be contributed to a loose or bad cable as well. Display burn in. Display burn in happens when no matter what you have on the screen, you can still see the outlines of a different image. This image has been burned into the monitor and sometimes simply referred to as burn in, or it's almost like a ghost image. And that image does not go away. Sometimes you will also, this will be referred to as an artifact. Regardless, the only solution here is to replace that monitor. Oftentimes on your LCD displays and other your monitor displays, you'll have what's called a dead pixels. Dead pixels are spots on the screen that never light up. You can check for these by setting the background to white and see if any spots don't light up. The only solution for dead pixels is to replace the monitor. Flashing or flickering screens. Sometimes a display will either suddenly flicker or flash off and on. Now, those two symptoms are caused by different things. Flickering screens are commonly caused by a backlight starting to fail. In those cases, you need to replace the backlight. Now, if it's flashing on and off, it could be the backlight, but it also could be a loose cable or an unsupported resolution. Try the usual fixes, including checking the cables, making sure they're properly connected and not loose, and also changing the resolution or reinstalling the video card driver. Sometimes this is known to fix the problem as well. So you'll have these multiple issues happening when you're having a screen that's flashing on and off. Incorrect color display. When a monitor's color is not properly rendering on the screen, there could be several sources causing this. Now, the monitor's color board may be failing, which will not map the colors correctly. The monitor will need to be replaced if it's this situation. The cable may be loose or have broken pins. Inspect the cable and replace the pin. Replace if the pins are bent or broken. And generally, you'll see these on the VGA cables. Some monitors have software utilities to make adjustments to render the colors correctly. So check with the utility that came with your monitor if it's installed on the operating system. There could be some settings that you can make a change to adjust those colors. Also, sometimes the monitor settings on the monitor could be the culprit. Some monitors have settings built into the controls, and it's good to adjust these or reset these to give you a good baseline to start off your troubleshooting. Now, it also happens on old CRT monitors, and to fix the old CRT displays, you use a process called degaussing. And again, these are the older monitors, which are not typically in use now, but you may come across those. And lastly, look at the operating system because sometimes there may be some operating system adjustments that you can make in the video display. A lot of operating systems will have where you can adjust the display settings right in the utility controls. So check there as well. It's common times you'll have a monitor that has built-in audio controls. Now, if this is the problem, if you have no audio coming through your monitor, there's several things that you need to look for. Now, in this event, and the audio is not passing to the monitor, it's common to either be the sound is muted or a connection issue. If the monitor has audio controls, check those audio controls first. Make sure it's not muted. Make sure the audio is turned all the way up. Also, you want to confirm that the settings in the operating system are not muted or turned off as well. Sometimes these settings could be disabled and that's stopping the audio from being transferred over to the monitor. Now, depending on the cable type, whether it's HDMI or Thunderbolt or a DisplayPort type cable, make sure that the output settings are set to it be enabled. Again, these settings could be disabled in the operating system, preventing your audio from coming across on your monitor. So check those as well. Other things to look for is on the keyboards. They generally have your audio keys. Make sure those are not turned off or have been muted. A dim image. With a dim monitor or a dim image on your monitor, the first area to troubleshoot will begin checking the settings on the monitor itself. The contrast and brightness settings may need to be adjusted. Next, you would want to check the operating system. On laptops, there may be a setting when the laptop is on battery to conserve power. Check this setting. Some features in the operating system allow you to dim your monitor based on certain criteria, such as time of day. The utility software that is packaged with some of the manufacturer's monitor products will have brightness and contrast adjustments as well. So check that as well. And also, and finally, on this issue, if you have an older monitor, it could be a possible inverter. The inverter on that older monitor may be going bad. A good way to test that is again swap a monitor with a known good monitor. See if it works in that situation. Intermittent projector shutdowns. Projectors generate a lot of heat. When a projector overheats, it'll shut itself down to avoid damaging the components and the bulb. Um, this is a high probability of this is the cause for intermittent shutdowns. After the projector cools off, after it's shut down, check the air vents on the projector. Make sure there's no blockage. Make sure it has proper airflow. Also, make sure that the projector is in an area where it's not contained and has airflow around it. Most projectors have an air filters to keep dust and debris out of it. Check to ensure that's clean and replace if necessary. Also, check to make sure that the cooling fan is operational and blowing out warm air. Okay, these are the areas that we covered in this lesson. We talked about um, different ways to troubleshoot your monitors and your displays and your projectors. We talked about incorrect data sources, physical cabling issues, burned out bulbs, fuzzy images, display burn-in, dead pixels, flashing screens, incorrect color display, audio issues, dim image, and intermittent projector shutdowns. A lot of good troubleshooting methods that we covered in this video will help you along whenever you have a LCD image, monitor, or projectors that's giving you either audio or image issues and how to troubleshoot those. So, thank you for joining me for this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson.